Well, welcome back to Andertons TV, everybody. I'm the captain.
And I am Pete, Danish Pete.
Danish Pete, indeed, from Holland. Today we are looking at the Boss IR-200. New pedal from Boss in its sort of 200 series format, so 2 buttons, a little bit bigger than a regular compact pedal. And this bad boy is Boss's long-awaited entrance into the realm of amp-in-a-box pedals. So cabinets, amps and cabinets and IRs in a box, a little bit like Strymon Iridium and all of those other pedals that followed.
That's why it's there.
That's why it's there.
Yeah. It's so old, actually. They were pirates when they started naming it. IR-200.
Iridium.
IR-200. Anyway, like and subscribe, please. Hit the notification
you want
bell.
more jokes like that?
Yeah, then don't watch this
to
channel.
someone else's channel. Yeah. Okay, so what you heard there is Pete plugged actually Pete plugged into his pedal board, but with no pedals at the moment.
Pete's pedal board.
Plugged into here. Little AB box so that we can quickly jump between the two, and then into the desk.
Straight.
So no amps, no cabinets, no nothing, just straight into our interface.
No talent.
No talent, absolutely. And I just stomped through the first 8 presets because the IR-200 out the box has 8 different amp models in it.
8?
As well as 8 models for the electric guitar, 3 for the bass guitar, which we'll do
for the bass
in a bit, and loads of different cabinets. And obviously we just literally used the first 8 presets.
Yeah.
So we're going to deep dive a little bit more now, tell you about this, and then at the end of the video kind of do some comparisons to the Iridium. We're going to try some different guitars, try some with Pete's pedal board, the whole 9 yards. Maybe even so much, maybe we might even get to 10 yards in this particular
18
video.
holes. How long ago was it the Iridium came out? That's pretty old now, 2 years?
I mean,
2 years?
Is it old? I mean, it's 2 or 3. It's not
not
that old, is it?
old,
I mean,
but
how long
it's
ago
still-
did the Les Paul come out?
Yes, but I know, but I'm saying.
No, I agree.
This is the champion, isn't it?
Yes.
This is the one to. This is the one.
We've done lots of shootouts of the Iridium versus the Walrus ACS versus the Atomic amplifier versus the DSM Humboldt simplifier. I'm not always
two notes.
Yes, I'm not sure the Iridium always comes out as our favourite. In fact, it probably doesn't, in fairness. But it continues to be the best-selling one. So they must be doing something right.
Yes.
But let's focus on the IR-200.
Yeah.
This has its DNA in the Boss GT1000 and GT1000 Core, but it does stuff that those pedals can't do either. So it's a dual DSP processor inside here. They're proprietary processors, so they're different to the ones that are in GT1000 Core. The DNA around the amp modeling is pretty similar to what you've got in GT1000 Core, but the IR-200 takes the whole cabinet emulation and the IR levels to a new standard, a higher standard than you get in GT1000.
Marvel.
And the reason it's got 2 processors in there is that the left and the right are completely separate, and if you want, one cabinet on the left and a different cabinet on the right, it can handle that, and it will dedicate a whole processor to each side.
Flicking into it as well, when I was seeing there's like a Royo 121 in there. That's always good to see that stuff, isn't it?
Loads of different microphones, and of course you can load your own IRs into this if you want to. That's pretty normal now.
And really nice reverbs, with most of the other ones have just got this room knob, so it's like not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The signal flow inside the pedal goes amp model, noise suppressor, effects send and return, which we're not using here, but it's there, cabinet, EQ, and then the ambience. And as Pete said, the reverbs I mean, the reverb in the Iridium is probably its most basic feature, isn't it?
It's
just
a
has
room.
like a
It's
room
not
reverb.
it's the same in the Walrus one. It's like...
Yeah.
I wish they just put a plate in there or something instead.
There are a better selection of effects if you go into something like the atomic amplifier, or even the simplifier has a decent reverb in it. Anyway, look. Let's start with natural. This first preset here is going through a 112 cabinet and is mic'd up with a 57 and a Royer 121, or at least their emulations of that,
Playing this very affordable Les Paul here on the neck pickup.
Cheaper
chips. I mean,
me like it.
It sounds great. I like that there's a reverb.
Nothing wrong with that. Should we add a little bit of layer up a bit of drive?
A little
over
bit
the top
of gain from the Dane, middle position on the guitar. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, I mean we're listening through the little, well, I say little, they're about this big. What are they, like 8-inch drivers, aren't they? The Callies. And I think I always feel that playing guitar through studio monitors has a slightly underwhelming effect compared to using normal cabinets.
Yes, I agree.
That's more a feel thing necessarily, I think. But actually, you know what? I'm kind of... That particular, of the 8 amp models, there are ones I like more than others.
Yeah.
That particular one I think is quite fat and quite
natural
feeling.
Which one was this again?
It's just called Natural. I don't actually know. That's the one amp model in here that they've not sort of made it reasonably obvious what it's going after.
Yeah, man.
Reverb's great, right?
That makes a difference. Reverb sprinkles this loveliness on top of everything, so it does help that there is a nice reverb on there.
Number 2 is, as you would expect from Boss, a nod towards their very own Jazz Chorus 120. So,
which is an amazing amp.
I imagine though, without modulation on it. So it's just the clean amp. And this again is modelling a 212 JC120 combo and being mic'd up by a 121 ribbon microphone again.
Is that coming out in stereo then?
I believe so, yes.
If you want to see the video, was it Mick and me did that on the JC?
You did a JC?
I think we did a 120, didn't we? I didn't do JC, but we did a video on that. You can watch that by clicking the link up there. And actually, it was really good with overdrive. So, did you know James Hetfield used that for all his clean stuff?
No,
huh?
I did know that.
He did actually. Yeah. So there you go. So, buy a song. I mean, I think all the time we do these videos of these IRs and these, this is the amp and this is the amp. Does it really sound like the real thing? This is what we should do, isn't it? Get the JC 120 get the twin.
We can. I kind of feel like the recorded sound ends up sounding much the same, but the sound in the all right.
I mean, this is the one we've done the Het Sport MX5. I mean, it's a lot. This is a podcast thing, isn't it? Because you take a Fender amp, which is supposed to be a twin, and then you take a tube screamer, there's a green thing, and then at the end of it, it sounds good, but it doesn't necessarily sound like those two combined. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
that's my whole thing. It doesn't sound bad, but it doesn't necessarily sound exactly like that.
It doesn't maybe not sound exactly the same, but if you just heard 2 guitar tracks and said, yes, they sound like they're different amplifiers, but which one's the real one and which one's the digital one, that gets difficult to tell.
Unless it's a cab clone, of course, because with you and Rob, then you can't tell the difference.
Right, let's move on. This is super famous now. This is a Fender Twin, well, it says Twin combo, so I'm guessing it's Fender Twin, into a 2x12 using, what's the CND 87? I should know that. What's
CND 87?
What's that?
The microphone?
Yeah, what's that?
Is there not a
is it a Neumann?
87?
Of course it is. So come on, the classic, just overdrive pedal into a Fender Twin.
Try the protein both sides. I mean,
it looks like it's quite natural feeling.
Yeah, but I think all of these things, there's no lag anymore. I mean, there's not that, where 5-10 years ago or whatever, when you play and you can hear the string before it comes through there. There's none of that stuff anymore. We're running, just in case you're interested, into the Apollo 8PX or X8P interfaces in the back of the studio there. So
this now is a 4x10 Tweed amplifier with a dynamic 421, a little Sennheiser microphone in front of it. So this is a little bit angry sounding, like a cranked to bejeebers,
like my mum.
Bassman. Again, I wonder sometimes if, because you don't have the riotous sound pressure levels and noise of everything, it sort of loses some of that. When you just hit, but maybe when you're listening to it now, it sounds cool. But
I mean, that is difficult in a room to get the sense that it's a 4x10.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah. There is a sense of, when you hear those really cranked old Tweed amplifiers of like, oh my God, it's about to, am I going to blow something up any second? And there is a sense of that here.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Sounds
so
good,
this is the Diamond amp. Now there's quite a lot of gain dialed into this as standard. I expect the Les Paul isn't helping, but this is their AC, the Voxy kind of Diamond.
Oh, is that what it's
grill.
supposed to be? I thought it was
I don't think so. I think it's Diamond as in the grill cloth rather than.
I thought it was Neil.
Try
but I missed.
Neil Diamond, yeah. Take the volume down a bit on the guitar, see if you've got more of that Voxy sense.
What was his song? Who plays Les Paul into an AC30?
Reef.
Do they?
Yeah, I think so.
Do they? I can ask. It is that. It's got that hunky hollowness mid thing.
Yeah, the
going
mid-range
on.
thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not so much on this.
It's definitely, a lot of gain.
Definitely on the here. I like that.
Now we've not really gone into what the
smokes.
controls do on the IR-200. Maybe this is a good time to go into that. So the 5 small controls are gain, level, bass, middle, and treble. So I guess if I want it, and like a lot of Boss products do, as soon as you touch one of the knobs, the screen flips over to telling you where all the settings are. So I guess to a certain extent, we could kind of go, well, what if we did try and clean that Voxy sound up? So try it now. Dead easy to clean the sound up, just literally using the knobs just like you would do on a normal guitar, which I like. The 3 knobs above here, again, very, very quickly. The left-hand one, if I push it, takes you into what amp have you got selected. The middle one, if I push it, takes you into what cabinet and microphone selection have you got. And the right-hand one takes you into the ambient effect that's on there. Really, really simple.
Super simple. Love that.
Yes, it's kind of, I think Boss are quite good at, clearly if you look at the Iridium, it physically couldn't be any simpler. They've really gone no LCD displays, well, there is a memory with the favorite, but other than that, everything is just what you see is what you get. Where the settings are, that's what it is. The Boss is a little different to that. Obviously, it's storing EQ settings, and some people will go, well, that's a good thing, and other people will go, oh, it's a bit more confusing to use, but hey,
I don't think it's not overly confusing to you. You know what I mean? It's not overly, you know, the last thing you want is an app and then something else and then some Bluetooth that doesn't work, and then it attaches to your TXR over there, and you know.
Completely. Right, this next one, this is the Boss high gain amp that they've invented called X High Gain.
That's from a beer they're called. Whatever he does.
Get well soon, Revere. Actually, by the time this video comes out, it's probably completely better. But
no, he's still 6 weeks, man. I think it takes 6 weeks to heal from going to
penis enlargement operations are a long old recovery time. Anyway,
ACL, man, it takes a long time to recover.
So that is going through a 412 again with a 57 on it. So it's a really classic kind of high gain miking technique.
Maybe it's a different guitar, right? You know what we need to get? We need to get it. If we only had a 7-string here, Lee.
Are you staying with the 7 whilst we move? Because the rest are all gainy tunes.
They're all gainy tunes.
So the next one, this is a British stack. Again, let's assume it's a Marshall, probably an 800, maybe a Plexi, who knows?
Let's change back.
Into a 412 with Celestion greenbacks, mic'd with a Royer 121. Controversial.
We'll go back to that if it's a greenback. It's probably like a...
Preset 007.
I mean, not to sound anything like it.
No, I'm guessing it's got to be JCM 800 or... Take the gain down and see if it's got a little bit of... Maybe it's got a little bit of, you know, classic old JTM about it. I don't know. It's not a clean Marshall, it's a dirty Marshall.
Dirty Marshall. Marshall matters.
Here we go.
What's this?
I like that. I like that better than the...
That's a proper, like, Jimmy, isn't it?
Noise gate kick in at some point. In fact, there was 2 things I want to say. Number 1 was, as soon as I turned the volume up in here and the volume got a bit louder, I got more interested.
Oh, me? I get more...
Straight away, it's like, yes, there's such an integral link, I think, between volume and playing the guitar, but whatever. just as you were letting that note die, can we do that? Because there is that, there is that point with all these things where the noise suppressor that's built into it can't then tell the difference between what's the guitar signal and what's the background noise. So you get that quite unnatural choking off of a note at the end.
Yeah.
I know that all these bits of technology, that'll be one of those things that every year they try and get a bit better. So let's have a listen to like just a chord naturally ring. It's not bad at all, is it? Really?
It's not bad. It's
and
still
they obviously
going.
Don't have the. They obviously haven't got the noise gate up
doesn't
too
go
high. Yeah,
that's the one of my pet peeves. Hate or whatever it is. Like when you go, when you're like, you do this and it just cuts it off.
Yeah. Anyway,
hate being
right.
when it gets
Next,
cut off.
008 is a BGR Uber Metal. So let's go Bogner Uber Metal for shizzle.
So back to the other guitar, I think.
I prefer that tone to their own X high gain.
I think so too.
You want to do some bass? Do you want to do some bass stuff now? Because that's kind of all we're really into. So that's obviously there's loads and loads of presets in here where they've matched amps with different the same basic amp model but with a different setting and a different cabinet and different microphones. Whilst Pete is changing over to the bass, I can show you about some IRs, or I can just talk about the IRs whilst you still sit there.
I'll do that. Hang on, wait, look.
Not IRs, I didn't mean that.
Take this out, I'll get a bass. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Back in the room!
There's a Sire bass, Sire P bass.
Just a quick interlude here. We've got loads more, ins and outs and sockets and stuff on here than you have on the Iridium. This may or may not appeal to you, but just quickly whizzing through them. USB socket, traditional style USB socket. That also works as an audio interface, which is pretty clever.
Oh, that's very clever.
An expression pedal input, headphone out of a mini jack, aux in on a mini jack, and then on the back, input, send and return, stereo out, power supply input, and MIDI in and out on the little new micro jack things, which I've got to be honest with you, I don't really understand how that works, and cables presumably, and mini jack to DIN, whatever. But
yeah, you can buy them. Boss sells actually dedicated plugs like that.
Natural bass.
There's still reverb on it.
I like it. This has been paired with a 2x15 wide-bodied cab and mic'd up with a Neumann 87. Finger bass, same natural bass. Do you know what? Although this is basically just the same bass amp model but with a different setting. So let's try and find. This is called a concert bass. Is that a nod to the SVT? Is that a concert? With an 810.
Yeah, that definitely gets that topic.
This is X-Drive, new Tesla.
Tesla's new X-Drive. I mean, bass, no offense to bass players out there, in my opinion, I mean, when I record bass for the stuff I do, sessions, if I do bass, I just plug it straight in. Maybe I load up, you know,
well, that's fine if you want a clean sound. If you want a dirty sound, you want something.
Well, I use the UAD plugins and I'll just crank the volume up a bit. But it sounds great, man.
It's another thing, again, the Walrus and the Strymon don't give you any bass settings.
It's clever.
The Humboldt do a dedicated bass version of it.
Yeah.
So does the Atomic, actually, isn't that? It's a dedicated bass version.
Yes.
So there's actually, okay, so
there's a video up there.
Hats off, the Boss is the only one I can think of where you get a bit of both. Right, so.
Okay.
This is going to be a little more challenging. The Iridium basically has a sort of a generic Fender tone, a Voxy tone, and a Marshall tone in it. That's the round, chime, and punch. And then you've got 3 different cabinets, which give it a slightly different characteristic. What there isn't, sadly, is a direct Fender comparison between here. So this is more like a deluxe. The closest we've got on here is the Twin.
Okay.
So I can't, this is probably the hardest one to sort of really directly compare. So I'm going to use the Twin. Oh, do you know what I can do? I will try and find a 112. Maybe that's a little bit of a slightly fairer. Here we go. So if we just have a 112 with a 57 and a 121, Royal 121 on it. Let's just...
That's our preferred miking technique.
Yes.
Royal 57
okay.
and Royal.
So it's a Twin into a 112 versus more of like a deluxe 112 vibe here. And let's see. So let's start. Let's get a little bit of level here.
That sounds a bit more like a Vox type thing to me.
It's more mid-range, isn't it?
It's the same. This is the same that happened when we did the clean sound versus the Walrus, I remember. And this is not, that wasn't my favourite in the Iridium.
No, I agree.
But whether that's designed to sound, whether this sounds more correct. That's what we need to, you know.
Okay, so there's the, that's the Iridium versus, I don't think there's a bad one or a better one between the two. I like the reverb on the IR-200 better.
I like the sound better on the IR-200, the clean sounds.
I just think it's more the classic Fender tone, isn't it, the IR-200?
Yeah, or is it?
Well,
maybe
anyway,
it's just to our ears, maybe,
so,
you know.
Right, now if I switch this to chime and I choose the first cabinet, this should be now a little bit more of a fair comparison if I go to the Diamond amp and again take some of that gain out of the preset because these are now both trying to be AC30s with 212 cabinets. Okay,
so here we go.
Here we go. Start with the IR-200.
On the neck pickup here. They both got this. I like the Iridium better here, but maybe if you fiff about with the
what do you want it to? It's a bit brittle, isn't it?
Isn't that what the AC15 we have here? Every time we use it, we all go, "Oh, that's a bit brittle." But isn't that what it is? Could you put some more low end in that one? Is that all the bass you got?
it's not a naturally bassy tone, is it?
As soon as I put it on the...
Right.
I mean, either... This is, again, because we're not...
It's just a preference, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the preference. We like the Iridium better on this one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna drive them both a little harder, just to sort of see if we can get that broken up voxy tone. Let's just try it. Yeah, go on. Whoa,
Holy smokey band, smokade bandade cigarette. See, then now they're more similar. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
But I feel like now the Boss sounds more correct. Yeah, for
Interestingly,
some reason.
on this particular patch,
man, it's difficult.
The microphone that they've used is just a 57. So I wonder if so I'm staying on the same cab, but I'm changing the mic now to something that perhaps might have a bit more bass end. Let's try these.
I mean, if you one or the other, they're both fine. It'll never push out like an AC 30 does with two 12s on it, right behind you.
Yeah.
I used to play an AC 30 all the time, a non-top boost one. Had a little Ibanez 7 EQ old thing like for EQ, and it just pushes air, and it's actually clean. That's got the MIDI push, isn't it?
Okay,
anyway.
well, lastly then is the British stack versus the... Now let me just make sure I've got the cabinet right. So if I want to... This one has got Celestion greenbacks and A has got the greenbacks on here. So again, we should have a reasonably sort of good comparison. So here's the...
Mine with a bit of level, Ellie.
Yeah.
No, that's too
Quite a bit
oversaturated.
more, there's quite a lot more gain in the IR, isn't there?
It sounds more vintage.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a...
This is Plexi. I'm sure this is more JCM
800 territory. Yeah. I mean, is it a fair comparison, really? I mean, I think they're both great. I mean, if you want more things to fiddle around with,
this is where I think
Boss is your thing.
This is where I think it's just a choice for you guys. So the Boss is actually marginally cheaper than the Iridium, similar ballpark, but like 20 or 30 quid cheaper. Tons more stuff in it, which again will divide customers. Some will go, great, obviously I want more stuff. Other people will go, no, I just like the simplicity of the Iridium.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think again the Fender tone is the one in the Iridium that I feel I'm going, where is that super scooped big fat Fender tone?
Yeah, treble and bass is like fatness.
I suppose the other thing that the Iridium doesn't really do is a really high gain. I mean, let's go back to the Iridium. This is the high gain Marshall,
That sounds good though.
Yeah, but whereas if you want
good.
modern metal and you go to
the Bachner thing.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Uberschall. That's definitely the more messy.
Yeah, much more modern gain tone.
Absolutely.
Well, look, so, I mean, it's just another great choice. I mean, it's...
Now, which one would you have, Lee? 5 things I like about this, and here's 5 things I don't like. I mean, for usability, I would take the Boss.
Yeah.
I think, for the money and for what you get. I mean, there's so much in it, isn't it?
I need to let me play through this cheap little guitar that I acquired the other day, and then maybe I will make a decision myself.
Yeah.
So I'm just going back to that first natural preset, same ones you heard at the beginnings. You're right about the response. It's not. It feels quite connected. I know that was a criticism we had of other units in the past. So it's weird you say that thing. When you're so quiet that you can hear the guitar strings over the sound of the amp, it's incredibly off-putting or unnatural. What's the right?
There's a connection between you and the guitar when you're just playing it with no volume like that, but you need
to hear the amp.
And if you don't hear the amp, then you need to feel it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you need to be able to feel the sound, because it's a feel thing, man. To play guitar for me is all about the feel. That sounds great.
Sounds like a Fender amp, right?
Apart from the reverb.
Reverb's good.
Yes, but it's a spring in there. That's a Hall, isn't it?
It's a Hall reverb.
It's a Hall and Oates reverb.
Yeah, the studio, room. Oh no, Hall, studio, or room are my only three.
Okay, go on studio then. Let's see what that is.
Studio.
They should have called that Neil, man. They shouldn't have called it Diamond, they should have called it Neil.
It's like is that a, I don't know.
You know what? You could stick a reverb in the effect show, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that sounds quite good. I think that's got that. Again, it needs more volume.
See, it needs more volume.
But I think it's got that essence of a highly driven. I don't know what we're doing to the levels into the mixer.
No, that's fine. This is used to set the levels into the mixer.
Well, you know.
That just you know how old Lee is from that.
I like that.
That sounds good.
I don't mind that one. I hate this one. I mean,
it's not for that guitar.
No. It's funny, isn't it? I'm going to just say, I don't think Boss do really high gain.
Oh, careful.
Like Metal Zone.
Careful.
That's why
you're going to offend a lot of people saying that, because a lot of people use Boss katanas. You know, like Rob, for instance, he loves to gain.
But don't you think that all of the drive sounds in the IR-200 that are copies of other amps are better than copies of their own? The one.
Anyway, now this video's going long now, isn't it? It's getting long.
Right. Conclusion time then.
Conclusion time.
Conclusion time.
I would take the Boss. Sorry, Strymon. I think if you need to
stick with my valve amp.
Well, yeah, if you had to pick one of these two,
right.
It's just got there's more.
It's just more. It's just more in there. So
yeah.
I guess.
But luckily enough, we don't have to pick one of them. We can just use a valve amp, you know. But we can play loud here, and we can go and gig.
Yeah,
but
it's because there is that thing about going if you.
It's at the end of your board. Which one would you put at the end of your board? So in case when your amp went down, you know.
Or just that's the gig. You need a pedal board that you can just give the sound man. Yeah,
no, both. But none of these two have got XLR out, and in my book, that's a minus on these things.
What,
I would have
what
to
did
have
an XLR out?
The
Atomic did.
Atomic did, and I think the
You think the Walrus did?
Walrus did. I'm
The
sure.
DSM, no, the DSM definitely did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, okay.
because you go around, then you have to have a DI box with you. You have to have extra jack cables with you. Instead of the soundman going, here's 2 XLR cables. So it's
I'm really
I get
torn.
it. I get it.
I'm super torn.
So is Natalie and Brulia, but
between the simplicity of the Iridium, I think you're probably right. I think if I got my head around just using it and was, got all my presets done and all that kind of stuff, so I wasn't feeling like I needed to tinker with it on the fly. Yeah. I think you're right. The IR-200 just got more
There's
stuff.
more in it. There's just more in it for the money. But
it's not us buying it. It's you buying it,
Yeah.
maybe. So what do you think? You like the IR-200, or you staying with the Iridium, or maybe a different one? Maybe there's a few Walrus fans out there, like David Attenborough. He's a big Walrus fan. Anyway, end of video.
Yes.
Links below if you would like to purchase one of these, or one of these, or one of these, or one of these. Slightly harder to purchase one of those.
But you can get one that's actually a copy of this.
You can.
Which you go on, there'll be a link below, and check out one that's spec'd up. If you want to watch the video, we went in and had this complete.
Yes.
This checked.
Thank you for joining us yet again and wasting 45 minutes of your lives. Anyway, thank you so
I'll
much.
have the Iridium.
Yes, I'll see you later.
Au revoir. I'll have the Boss.
Bye-bye.
No, I'll take the Iridium. No, I'll take the Boss. No, I'll take the Iridium. I can't make my mind up.
Take both. It's the only
It's the only way to do it,
answer.
and link them up.
Bye-bye.